I have been doing this as a business for about 5 years now. It's been a roller coaster. There's been times where we've been up there, and then there are times where we go down there. So I started kind of drifting towards what people mostly want. So I started it as a business.
And your parents allowed you to? They didn't tell you to go and practice what you studied in school?
No.
And you didn't have to fight with them about it?
No, they've always felt my passion. If I said I wanted to do a particular thing, like when I started crocheting, my dad would get me wools.
Aren't you lucky? This
crocheting.
woman is so lucky. As in, she's sounding like she's not from this clime. You're so lucky. Sorry, are your parents not African? You don't look African.
They are. I'm African woman.
So how is it? Were they did not grow up in Nigeria? Sorry.
They did.
I must tell you, you're quite a very fortunate. Hello guys, my name is Daniel D1 Samson. Welcome to Relationship Realities podcast. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about the creative world, fashion and lifestyle. And then with me today, we have an amazing young woman who has been doing amazing stuff, around here. Meanwhile, what this is about, or what Relationship Realities podcast is about, is unraveling untold truths, processes and realities about life and every other thing that you can think about, from relationship to religion to business to what have you. And it is solely put out for those that are misinformed and misplaced. I hope that is right. Now, this podcast, like I said in the previous podcast, it is not a religious podcast. It is not a political podcast and not sentimental. Nothing about it is sentimental. It is where we come to say it as it is. As it be. That's what we talk. So there's nothing to patch. It is just bringing people of different walks or from different walks of life to come and share realities of how they were able to pull through certain challenges. For those that are in relationship, having relationship issues, what are those challenges that you'll be faced with, as you move on in life? Those things that you were not told, by your parent, or they told you that, I remember there was a time they told us that when you die, at the end of the day, the Lord will bring out one big screen and they will show all those things that you used to do. And then when we got older, we understood that some of those things, our parents at some point used to bobo us. All right? But today, we have come to share deep realities about life so that it will guide those of you who would want to go into business or whatever it is you want to do. And with me, I have the lead creative of Nelly J's collection. Her name is Nelly Johnson. And then she says it is Nelly J's collection. She's into brand accessories, fashion brand accessories. Am I right, please?
Yes, sir.
All right. And she does amazing caps. Amazing. In the course of this episode, I'll get her to, showcase what she does for those that would want to patronize her. Of course, this podcast is also to help project people that are doing amazing stuff, like I said earlier. So welcome, Nelly J. What is it about Nelly J that everybody should know about to start with?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on the show today. Nelly J's collection is a brand that is concerned about producing good quality fashion accessories ranging from caps, fascinators, ties, and every other thing that can spice up your outfit. So yeah, Nelly J's collection brings those big brands closer to you, so you can easily access these things at affordable rates. Yes.
Wow. So you can see the way she talks. She looks fashionable as well. So what is that thing that is different about you? There are other people that do the same things that you're doing. All right. So what is that thing that makes you different? Because on this podcast, we're bringing out people that are exceptional, people that are doing things that are beyond the conventional and the norm. What is that thing that stands you out from other people that are into the kind of business that you do?
Okay, I would say it's my creativity.
Wow.
So yeah, most of the designs that I create, I do them myself. It comes from my head, not necessarily having to recreate things that people already have out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just bring maybe my clients' ideas and put them to become live.
Okay, recently I made a cap. She made a cap for me recently. Unfortunately, I'm not with the cap today, but someday I hope that Nelly J's collection would collect me one day and dress me up one day, and I will show you guys how far. But of course, she's on Instagram and she's on social media platforms. Which other social media? Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram, and where? Just those two.
WhatsApp.
Okay, no, okay. So we're going to be talking about the business of creativity. And I'd like to start with, how long have you been doing this?
I have been doing this as a business for about 5 years now.
5 years.
Yes.
Now, from my understanding about business, if a business has thrived for 5 years, it will mean that the person really meant to do that business. Of course, there are businesses that also folded up after 5 years, yes. But for 5 years, for you to be doing and I'm sure you're not regretting the business.
I'm not.
Of course, is that what you studied in school? Or?
It's not what I studied in school.
Okay, and then it means that you are glad, you have fulfillment doing what you're doing. And then, so how has it been in 5 years?
I would say it's been a roller coaster. There's been times where we've been up there, and then there are times where we go down there. So it's just the passion that keeps us going. Yeah.
Passion?
So, yes.
Passion.
Yes.
Ha. No passion. No.
First, it was about the passion, and then I felt like, okay, let's put this passion into money making. Let's make money out of this thing that I love to do.
How did it start? Because it's also very important.
Yes.
So if you're telling a reality story, people need to connect from how you started. Do you understand? Okay. For example, my realities in life is process and consistency. Those are my two realities about life. Okay. So I want to know how it started. Do you understand? So that someone that is watching you that would want to do the same thing, or that I've been contemplating doing the same thing that you're doing now, would understand the realities. The idea is about the realities because some of them are not really told, or they were not told about these realities. How did it start?
Okay, so I've always been a child who loves to create things.
Okay.
Right from, let's say, primary school, knitting, crocheting, and Ankara crafts.
Okay.
So as I grew, I started getting people who want to get my craft work. Okay. So I started kind of drifting towards what people mostly want. Okay. So I started it as a business.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it is what, transitioned into what you're doing, and you've been doing it for 5 years.
Yes.
And your parents allowed you to. They didn't tell you to go and practice what you studied in school.
No.
And you didn't have to fight with them about it.
No, they've always felt my passion. If I said I wanted to do a particular thing, like when I started crocheting, my dad would get me wools.
Aren't you lucky? This woman is so lucky. As in, she's sounding like she's not from this clime. You're so lucky. Sorry, are your parents not African? You don't look African.
They are. I'm Akwa woman.
So how is it? They did not grow up in Nigeria. Sorry.
They did.
I must tell you, you're quite a very fortunate child, because some parents will tell you if it is not engineering, doctoring, if it's not banking, if it's not all those courses that, when you call their names, if you are not a lawyer, then you are not anything. So, and the creative world, wow. So go ahead, please.
You. Okay, so my dad would always get those materials for me, my mom too. So and sometimes, even now, my mom goes out there, tells people that, oh, this is what my daughter does.
Wow.
Or sometimes, back at home, she'll call me. Okay, this person is getting married. I want you to reach out to them. Sometimes if I don't even want to do that, she'll reach out to them like, oh, this is what my daughter does. And most times I get the job. So I just have these super amazing parents who have always felt my passion. Indeed. They're always pushing me to continue to fly.
If you're a parent watching me out there, or you are a child and you would want to do what you love to do, and then your parents, are not allowing you to do it, if you can, play this video or send this video to somebody that is close to them. Let them watch it and understand that it is also important for us to pay attention, to what our children would love to do. Now, this is a reality of life. There are children that were forced to do what they didn't want to do. And today, you can tell that they are not happy doing what they are supposed to do. I know of a child that the parent wanted him to study law. He went and studied law. And when he was done studying law, he brought his certificate back home and handed it over to his parents and told the parent that he wants to do music. And if you grew up in, I don't want to use the word Akwa Ibom or Nigeria, of course, Nigeria. If you grew up in Nigeria, you will understand that if back then, I don't know about the Gen Zs, all right? For those of us that belong to the Gen X and you know what it is, you'll understand that at that time, if you come and tell your parents you want to study music, for example, I also have loving, they are late now anyways. I had parents that when I wanted studying music, I wanted to do music, they encouraged me to do music. But if you're a parent out there and then you are trying to impose a course or a discipline on your child, I think you need to look at it again, because if you find out that the child has a calling or has a purpose to do one particular thing and then you're pushing them to do something else, you might just be telling the child bye-bye to fulfillment, because there's nothing as good as you doing something that makes you feel fulfilled. All right, so if you're watching this, it is important that you share this video, follow us on all social media platforms, and then share this and let other people learn from this. So we are going to go ahead with Nelly J. If you're just joining us, we are having on the episode today Nelly J's collection, the lead creative from Nelly J's collection. She's into fashion branding, accessories. Like I said earlier, contact will be displayed on the screen as we go. All right, so 5 years. What are those realities that you've had to deal with, from staffing to people coming to learn from you to competitors? How has it been? Because I understand what it means to be an entrepreneur from this part of the world. How did you come about financing and everything? What are those? I want to hear those, those realities, those things that at some point, I'm sure there was a point you felt like, I don't think this will make sense. I don't know if you were or you had felt that, but I have gone through that severally. So, but I don't know if it happened. Maybe you are a superhuman, of course, from superhuman parents. Of course, so it's possible. So share with us, what has it been?
Okay, so from the beginning, I had not really had, okay, this is a specific amount of money that I'm using to start my business.
Yeah.
So I just used to, whatever money I had, I'll just put it in, buy materials, create stuff, and just put it out there. So until I think it was 2 years ago that I got my first business grant.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it has solely been running on personal inputs and all. Yeah.
Okay. So how's staffing be, those that have come to learn? Have you coped with competitors from other creative, brands like that?
Okay, so since when we started out, we didn't have like enough money to get people to work for us. Like, okay, you're on a salary and stuff like that. So I just used to do free training.
Wow.
So I'll offer free training, and in turn, you work for me for a particular period of time.
Okay.
So that's how
Okay. All right. So I'm very particular about customer service, which is one issue that a lot of people don't have, because I love to train people. All right, that's my job, and I don't like to see people who are untrained or people who are not customer friendly. How have you been able over the years? Because why I'm asking this is I don't know what caliber of customers you have, because the word of referral that you can get, just okay, for example, some time ago I consulted for a firm, and then I asked the firm, you have other firms that do the same thing that you do. What is it that you are selling that other firms are not selling? What is it you have? Because from the look of things, you do the same thing. What's that thing that makes you different, for example? Do you understand? And for me, when they consulted me, I told them, I had to train a few of them, and I told them that customer service is is a skill. Do you understand? A lot of people don't have it. In fact, many business owners don't have that skill. How have you been able to? I have had my fair share of experience with you when I started. All right, and I cannot tell. We are in public this, and I cannot tell you whether it was good or bad. But I'm sure if it was bad, she will not be on my show. I'm not saying it was entirely good though. It's just that I give people opportunity, But I think much more than that, what really endeared me to her was level of creativity, really, And of course, I felt that okay, it was an avenue for me to, bring you and get to talk to you about it, and then let me know your idea as a business person. Have you been trained, when it comes to customer service, so that whatever it is you want to do, those that are working with you will understand that this is how boss, or this is how boss lady, like I call you, this is how you handle a customer, or this is how you treat a customer, whether you are right or wrong. How has it been?
It's just been a learning process.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make mistakes sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make mistakes sometimes.
So the reality here is that mistakes follow for the
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I learn from the mistakes. Yeah, and I do not hesitate to apologize when these mistakes come, and then I learn from them so that they don't get to repeat themselves. So I have not had any specific training on customer service,
Okay.
but then I follow a lot of people online that talk about it and all of that, so I get to get insight and learn. Yeah.
So she offended me one time. I'm not sure she apologized. I don't know if did you apologize?
Yes,
How did you apologize? Because me, if you're apologizing to me, I have to buy a red wine or something, But she did not buy. She just did this thing. But then it's good. I want us to now to bring this while we're winding down. I want us to bring in the idea of relationship into business. Now, not erotic. No, you see, you have bad mind. I was not talking about erotic relationship. I'm talking about how friends have, influenced your business, whether rightly or wrongly.
Okay.
You understand? Because to a large extent, friends, you've talked about family. You are very fortunate. I must tell you that you're very fortunate to have parents that even do mouth-to-mouth publicity for you, marketing for you. You are very fortunate. There are people that are not that lucky. Now, how have you been able to cope with friends taking free rides on you? Do you understand how? And how have you been able to also harness that level of, friendship or relationship to affect your business positively?
Okay.
Do you understand what I just asked you?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
so I do not have a lot of friends.
Oh.
Yes, so
Ndi, I want keep slim circle, madam.
So the few friends that I have, they've really been supportive in publicity and the rest of them. So they know. I don't know if it's the way I relate with them, but then they just know that we should not take this person for granted because we are friends with them. They have businesses too, most of them do.
Okay, do you patronize them?
Yes,
Don't lie. Do you pay for the services when you patronize them?
Of course I do.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I pay for the services and they also pay for mine.
Okay.
They refer, I do the same thing for them too. So it's just like I don't know how to call it. So I benefit and they also benefit.
More like a trade by.
Exactly.
Is it trade by matter or trade by barter? Which one is it?
Barter.
Okay, trade by barter. All right, so that's amazing. That's amazing. If you were given an opportunity to mention one or two of those friends or those brands that you have had to build strong bond with, I'm giving you my platform now to mention one or two people that you want to recognize and tell them thank you over 5 years that they have been with you, because I believe so much, in synergy. I believe so much in partnership and collaboration. Which of just two, if I ask you, if I give you that, you're not paying for it, don't worry. Let me see how you will not give me one cap. So, who would that be?
First of all, I would say Blesser Beauty Makeovers.
Wow.
She has been my strongest support system.
All right.
Yeah, it's been over 5 years. Like, so she's always been there, and then we have Chidera, Igwe Chidera.
Okay.
She manages Queen Cheese Designs.
Okay.
I would like to mention a lot others,
No,
but you
just
said
two.
two.
Please don't do. I just
So
want
I'll
to.
just stick to those two. Blesser Beauty Makeovers
And all others.
all others.
Yes. Now, like I said, this whole podcast is for us to, bring realities to us as humans. Let us live in a world where we understand that it is not about, what you were told. It is how you have lived your life, the experiences and the realities that have dawned on you, and then you can share it and help somebody on the street. All right. This is what this podcast is about. Now, so as we wind down, I'm going to ask you, what is your idea about relationship?
What type of relationship?
Erotic relationship. Spotlight.
Okay.
It's unscripted. This podcast is not. There's no pattern to it. So I can just throw questions at you, and I'd like you to give an insight. There's always going to be somebody watching and would want to take or learn a lesson from what you're saying. What's your take about relationship? What's your philosophy about relationship?
Relationships are beautiful when two people can understand each other and learn as they go.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't know each other like from the beginning. You're coming from different backgrounds, different ideologies and all of that, so you just get to learn and be able to understand each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally, before we go on to this episode, relationship realities podcast, what are your realities in life? 2 words that can describe your realities.
Okay, I would say process.
She has done Ojoro. I was one that said process. Process is mine. Please look for another word. That means this woman has been following me. She has been tiffing everything I have been saying. Nelly J.
I'm not following you. I'm not stealing anything.
You're not stealing anything. So why are you using? I said my realities in life are process and consistency. Why is it yours?
You should have asked me why I said process.
Okay, so why process?
Okay, so
just process.
Process, and I would say learning.
Okay, process and learning.
Yes.
Why process?
So I would say process because I've not really had a standard, like, okay, this is the pattern I want to follow. Every day I just feel like, okay, I want to do this thing next, from one stage to another.
Yeah.
From one stage to another. You just know that you cannot skip the process. You cannot skip it. You just have to follow a particular pattern and then know that at the end you get to where you want to.
Okay, so it was nice having this amazing woman on today's podcast. But before we go, I had promised that she was going to showcase 1 or 2 of her, collection so that we can see. And then for those that are planning to get married, or you want to just buy a cap, or you want her to do anything, or you want to buy accessories from her, she's all and ready. So this is when I think you should bring your cap now. So oh gosh, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. How long does it take to do this?
About 45 minutes.
Can I try it on? Will it size me?
Let's hope so. That's not your size.
It's not my size.
It fits better if it was your size.
Can you try it on? Okay. And then she makes this as well. All right, so this is how much we can do today on this podcast. She does this for herself. You can reach out to her with the contact information on the screen. Thank you so much for coming. It was very, very amazing having you. And then we hope to have you some other time. Thank you very much. Bye bye for now. Before
Thank
I
you
go,
too.
you can just put it out later, Sha. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to Premium Media. They have been the one doing all of this you're seeing from behind the scene. All right, they've been the one. I'm just sitting here. They are the one photoing me. They are the one covering me. They are the one shooting me. And I also want to thank. I want to also say a very big, shout out to Mixplug Studios. All right, and I want to thank them for amazingly, working with this brand, for doing so much for us, for giving us such an amazing space. You see this space, you can come here to do all you have to do. If you want to shoot whatever it is you want, of course, I'm shooting from here so you can see. He has amazing 24 power supply non-stop. And then Premium Media, you want to do live streaming, whatever it is you want to do, you will see their details and their contact information on the screen. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye.